So guys, in the final episode for the best of series in 2020, we are gonna discuss one of the most popular spicy notes in the perfumery, which is of course cinnamon. And I'll be sharing with you top 10 of my most favorite perfumes that feature this note from my collection. And I gotta be honest with you, I've never been the biggest fan of cinnamon in the perfumery, but lately I'm really getting into it, probably because of the holiday season, because what can be more Christmassy than cinnamon? So in order to find out about my top 10 cinnamon picks, please keep on watching this video. And before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new here or haven't subscribed already, and give it a huge thumbs up if you enjoy these videos in which I focus on one specific note and show you so many different fragrances in which you can find it, but they all smell differently, because that is my main goal. And with all of that being said, let's get started with our holiday cinnamony fragrances. So guys, welcome to the best of series. I really enjoyed because it's such an exciting process for me to find all these fragrances that should feature one specific note depending what's the theme of the video, but they all need to smell differently. And today we are going to talk about cinnamon, which is one of the essential spicy notes in the perfumery that has been used for many years to create warm, powdery and spicy type of fragrances. And the reason why I wasn't the biggest fan of it is because cinnamon perfumes can be a bit sharp and just too spicy sometimes, but it always depends on the overall composition and other notes in the fragrance. And it took me a while to find top cinnamon picks with which I am satisfied with, and today I'm happy to present all of them to you. But if you like this note and you know some awesome cinnamon featuring perfumes, go ahead, comment them below. That way we will have more cinnamon recommendations. And I'm getting started with a cinnamon perfume that I've been having in my collection for a couple of years, and it took me a while to appreciate the beauty of Miracle of Roses by Miguel Matos. This fragrance is special and its story is special as well. Basically, it was inspired by Saint Elizabeth, Queen of Portugal, that was born in Spain in 1271, and she was married to the King Denis of Portugal, and she used to feed poor people, all right, but she was forbidden to do that. And once the king found out that she was going out and fed those poor people, he locked her up, and she managed to escape every day and still carry about those poor people who had nothing to eat. And one winter day the king noticed that she was going out, and he asked her what does she carry in her dress, and she actually was hiding bread in there, but she answered that those were roses. And so he wanted to see that, and as she unfolded her dress, roses fell on the floor. So the transformation of bread into roses is this miracle that Miguel was inspired by, creating this absolutely miraculous fragrance that opens with a pretty sharp and bold note of cinnamon. So it's definitely very spicy, and you can already notice rose hints in there, but there is such a bold gourmand accord in there that is created out of milky and bready nuances. That is exactly what you get in the opening. It's cinnamon with a hint of immortelle that adds even more body to the spicy, bready, gourmand milkiness. and then you get the roses and the powderiness of heliotrope and iris, which definitely is very appealing to me because I like powdery fragrances. So it's like the spiritual, spicy rose with a lot of powder, and honey makes the note of incense, which can be a little bit churchy, more pleasant, and definitely adds more quality to the gourmand element. It's a room filler, very strong perfume in the projection and longevity, with awesome sillage and warmth, and this carrying feeling that you get when you wear it. It's not a Christmas cinnamon, it's an elegant and spiritual, beautiful, powdery cinnamon, complex and truly interesting, one of a kind, because I've never smelled a perfume quite like it, and although it took me a while to appreciate its beauty, now I'm definitely in love with it. And if you're looking for a powdery, gourmand, amazing, smoky rose, and you just want to be impressed by a perfume and its quality, I highly recommend you Miracle of Roses, because it is indeed very special. Alright, let's move on to something a bit different with a note of cinnamon, and it is my beloved Tango by Masque Milano, which is quite a popular fragrance, so it doesn't really need an introduction, because it smells like this hot, almost salty amber. There is a dose of spiciness that comes from cinnamon and cardamom, and when you wear it, you'll get a feeling that you are dancing a passionate dance of tango. You're a little bit sweaty, very sexy, and just being in this moment of true sultriness. So I personally love to wear it in the winter because it's warm, even hot. It's very bold and will be appreciated by all the lovers of oriental perfumes, in particular if you like the note of amber and you want beautiful but elegant and very grown-up spiciness in your fragrance. You will get it in Tango, in which cinnamon is not a main player, but it definitely adds more to the spicy accord of this perfume. And the composition was created by Cécile Zarokian, who is very comfortable with such opulent oriental ambery fragrances, and I promise you, if you get that for winter time, you will be absolutely warmed up and feeling super sexy. I know that men and women love it, so it's a truly unisex fragrance for the lovers of passionate scents. So although cinnamon might seem like rather a wintry note, I have this next fragrance that I bought specifically to wear in the summertime, that is called Bakul Medjool by my favorite DSH. And it is from her series that is inspired by forbidden fruits, and the one that you get in here is date. So you can imagine sweet sugary dates that are soaked into alcohol. So it has this very special note of a Bakul attar. It's quite exotic, and the fragrance itself is super duper complex. You get a lot of resinous notes such as olibanum and benzoin, multiple roses, incense, geranium, labdanum, bitter orange, bitter almond, of course our cinnamon. But what's most interesting is that you also get this very boozy note of sugary date, and it smells like a desert caravan, very exotic, very exciting. So I personally bought it to wear in the summertime, reading my favorite book in bed, but it is definitely something you want to wear when you are craving fruit, but you want it to be exotic, you want it to be slightly dark and boozy. It's a very complex fragrance with its many facets that can be revealed to a true connoisseur of, I would say, creative perfumery, and it is also a botanical fragrance, so it's natural. And you know, it's not too much for the summertime, but because it's so spicy and warm and very exotic, it's also great for colder weather. And this is definitely not a typical, very exotic, boozy type of cinnamon. Unisex and absolutely gorgeous. I fell in love with it at first sniff as I sampled it and needed to have a bigger bottle, which I treasure very much. This next fragrance, guys, deserves more attention from me. I mention A.E.O.M. way too seldom on my channel, from the brand Bijon Perfume. It is something I have so many memories with, you can't even imagine. So first of all, it's a very, very bold fragrance that is super duper spicy, smells a bit Christmassy, but also like very expensive niche perfume you are absolutely blown away by, and you smell it and you understand that there are fragrances with a soul. And this one has very daring character. It's boozy because of cognac and rum. There are so many different flowers and spices such as cinnamon, clove and nutmeg. Dates and Davana create this fruity background, and there is a whole list of base notes. And since it was composed by Cécile Zarokian, who is very comfortable once again with spicy oriental fragrances, you will be in an absolute nirvana wearing it. And I first discovered it in London, where I sprayed on myself, and I had the best time with Benny and other cool people there. So anytime I smell it, I'm transported to that place. But actually, anytime I wear it, people always ask me about this perfume, which totally makes sense because its name is All Eyes on Me. So you will be the most noticeable person in the room with this perfume that projects like crazy, because that is extrait de parfum and the quality speaks for itself. If you're looking for a complex, spicy, boozy, absolutely, you know, eccentric fragrance that would be very special and will be with you for days because the longevity is out of this world, I think you will be really pleased by it. So definitely check it out. It's one of the best perfumes from my collection that I need to talk about way more often on my channel, and I'm very glad that because of this cinnamon video I was reminded of it, and now maybe I'll be wearing it more often myself. However, if you just want a simple cinnamon that will maybe remind you of joyful moments that you spent with your family during holiday time, I recommend you Pumpkin Pine by the brand that is called Library of Fragrance, and they create perfumes that are inspired by certain memories. They're very simple, very light, not too strong, and this one smells like winter holidays because these are basically spices you wanna put in your bakery. So you can even spray it around your house and it will just create a Christmassy holiday atmosphere. Let's move on to one of my most favorite perfume discoveries of the year and most favorite fragrance of this month, that is called Nonchalant, and it is by the brand Ilk Perfumes. When you spray it on, and let me actually do that, yes, you get the scent of beautiful powdery raspberry lipstick, which I'm really into because I like powdery scents, but it definitely develops and you can notice these fruity, brandy nuances that kind of hypnotize you as the fragrance develops on your skin. And the spiciness is very interesting in there too. You get the cinnamon that kind of appears and disappears over time. So that's very interesting because the scent is powdery raspberry with fruity brandy liqueur, so it has almost like a boozy flirty moment going on, but overall the scent is quite mature and very carefree. So if you like powdery notes and you want like a powder cinnamon with lots of raspberry and fun liqueur, and you just want to be in this absolutely amazing glamorous mood and actually want a wearable perfume with cinnamon, then I highly recommend you this one. And actually look up this brand, their collection is just awesome and it's definitely one of my biggest favorites from them because it smells like raspberry lipstick and liqueur, and who can resist that? Perfect for holiday parties. Let's move on now to one of the biggest cinnamon bombs, which is of course Porpora by Tiziana Terenzi, that comes in an absolutely stunning bottle like this, that is red and fiery, like my look today, that I match not only to our topic, because honestly when I smell cinnamon I have this reddish color in my head, but particularly I was inspired by this stunning bottle. And the fragrance itself is very popular because it's this, wow, absolutely bold rose that is very spicy, almost sharp in the opening. You get cloves and cinnamon. There is a hint of raspberry that is almost unnoticeable. It's rather the fruity aspect of the rose, so you might picture this very spicy and dense rose, but over time freshness appears, which is important to the story of this perfume that I was told today in the live chat with Paul and Tiziana Terenzi from Italy. So if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, please feel free to do so, because there I arrange live meetings with perfumers and you'll get a very special, unique chance to meet people from the industry and ask them direct questions. But coming back to the story of Porpora, one night as Paul and Tiziana, brother and sister, who are brand owners of this family brand, Tiziana Terenzi, went out with their father or grandfather, I'm not sure, to look at the stars. They noticed kind of like a reddish moon, and at that moment they also got this beautiful aroma of roses that were growing in their grandmother's garden, and the sea breeze that really captured the aroma of roses and everything else that was saturated in the air. And so you get beautiful bold spices and later incense with patchouli, but also this breeziness of roses from the garden, and cinnamon in there is noticeable in the opening for sure, along with cloves. But you know, this is not a Christmassy type of a spicy fragrance at all. It smells very elegant. It smells like you're wearing a red dress or a suit, because this is a very unisex, maybe even slightly masculine leaning rose, but I would say everyone can wear it who has great style and craves very spicy and intense roses, because it's very bold. This is the fragrance that will grow on you, and I really like the cinnamon in there that definitely plays an important role in terms of being spicy, but it rather warms up the composition, because all the other notes, they are pretty cold and cool. And on that note, Porpora is definitely something for the fiery souls around you. And now let's move on to one of my latest discoveries, which is a new release called Dark Game by the designer July St. Barthelemy, who I also had a pleasure to interview this month regarding this fragrance that looks very, very pretty. And she's a head designer, so Cap is a really nice, you know, connection to her designer background. And this is a very sexy perfume that is very special because cinnamon in there is presented sort of like in a new way. So basically this is dated floral scent with notes of tuberose and jasmine, which, as you know, are very opulent white flowers. There is a hint of ylang ylang and bergamot and cinnamon, which, do you know how it smells? It's not like bakery spice, it's not even spicy at all. You need to picture cinnamon crystals that are layered on the white flowers. So it's very, very sexy and dated kind of scent. That's why it's so sultry and beautiful. I would say that it is unique because I haven't smelled perfume like it in a long time, and it doesn't remind me of anything else. I think if you miss spicy floral fragrances from the past, you want it to be very, very sexy, you want to wear it on a date night or during the day as well, because I did both and it was beautiful. I highly recommend you Dark Game because cinnamon in there is this crystal-like beautiful cinnamon. Another quite elegant cinnamon is Temperantia by Memoize London. This is a stunning bottle, and the fragrance opens with the aroma of rose and patchouli, hint of peach and saffron, which is a little bit of an edgy, spicy note, and cinnamon and cloves. Once again, as you've probably noticed, in the majority of these fragrances you can find those spicy notes because they are a great team. In here, they are sort of unnoticeable, but you notice them more and more as you wear the perfume. So I think it's great for the cinnamon and spicy beginners. If you want a perfume that would smell very elegant, you could wear anywhere, anytime, that will create this very luxurious mood. I think you will really enjoy it because, once again, spicy notes in there are quite calm, and this is the essence of calmness, modesty, and great wisdom overall, which is very wearable and enjoyable for all year round. So I would say this is a great, calm, neutral cinnamon for every day. And finally, let's talk about Cinnamon Liar, Legendary Opium by Yves Saint Laurent. And apparently there is no cinnamon in there, but believe it or not, I can smell it. Probably because I always wear this perfume in winter time, particularly in December, end of December, where, you know, the time when you go to the Christmas markets and drink Glühwein. It smells like spicy wine to me, of course, with myrrh and gorgeous decadence. This is a classic that will be my favorite forever. Maybe in the original Opium there is cinnamon. Let me know if it is in there, but apparently it's not in here, and I can still smell some, you know, like beautiful spiced plum with Glühwein and something warm and at the same time very, very classy. Probably because this fragrance has been around for a very long time, and in my opinion it's still very relevant, particularly for winter and December, at least for me. So if you have it in your collection, you're in the mood for cinnamon, check it out. And on that note, guys, that completed our top 10 list of cinnamon featuring fragrances. Let me know which of the mentioned ones you are interested in trying out. And of course, if you know other gorgeous cinnamon perfumes, because once again this is a quite popular spicy note, please comment them down below. I'm sure that's going to be very helpful for everyone. And please request future best of episodes in the new year. For January, I'm preparing an aldehydic list, so if you don't want to miss that, please subscribe to my channel, also if you're here for the first time, and of course ring that bell in order to be notified about my new videos. Thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed. More helpful information you can find down below in the description box, and I smell so gorgeously cinnamon, spicy and delicious that I totally need to go out on the fresh air and do something special and try to enjoy the holiday season. With cinnamony and spicy perfumes you can definitely get into the holiday mood. If you need some extra, or you can comment down below which fragrances help you to maintain the beautiful holiday atmosphere. I'm looking forward to chat with you as always. Your feedback is highly appreciated, and please stay tuned and smell good. We'll see each other in my next one really soon. Bye guys. God, you have a sexy cinnamon, a salty cinnamon, an elegant everyday cinnamon. What else did we have? Oh right, holiday cinnamon, foodie, bready, milky cinnamon, exotic cinnamon, so many cinnamon varieties. I mean, like, this is definitely the note that is endless in terms of how you can shape and form it. Guys, let me know which cinnamon perfume you like and you hate, because I mean, like, it can be beautiful and it can be sometimes very, very challenging. And it's interesting that, for example, Miracle of Roses wasn't my favorite perfume when I first smelled it, but now I can tell it's a masterpiece. Oh, and I've just realized that I didn't mention my dress. So I got it from JJ's house, and more information you can find down below regarding my extra video about dresses from this brand, and also discounts with which you can save some money, whether you shop dresses or perfumes.